Hey everyone, a bit of an update here on the controller situation. So there's been a bit of a development. And I feel a little bit embarrassed, in fact, that I'm only finding this out now. I tried to connect the controller using a USB-C cable to my laptop, and but this time I used the bottom part. So initially I used the top part here, and that didn't work. Maybe expectedly. Now I'm using the bottom part and it's being picked up by DJI Assistant series software. And I really want to point out that there are several versions of it. So if you go on the DJI Download Center website, so it's under Home, Support, and Download Center, you will find out that there are multiple series of DJI Assistant. And the one I'm using right now is this one. And I'm kind of wondering whether it's even the proper one. But here's what's going on. So I'm turning this on, beeps, and I've already have it, like I have it open here, and I'm gonna reopen it. And I will do this immediately. And this is Windows 11, by the way. Yeah, this is the one that I've got. DJI Assistant 2 for Mavic. And when you look here, it lists actually the products that are supported, and the Mini is supported, but the Mini 2 is actually under a different one, which is at the bottom here, which is the consumer drone series. And if you click on that one, you'll find the Mini 2. And that's the reason why I think this might not even be the proper one. But in terms of what's happening, well, there's a bit of a development, because if I start this up, it's gonna tell me yes, okay. And now I'm gonna plug my controller, and it actually even gives you specific instructions for the Mini. And this is Mini 2, so it might not even apply, but I thought it would apply to mine too, but until I realized that there was the Mini 2 listed under the consumer drone series. So I'm going to plug this in, and it's a USB-C connector that I've got on this laptop. And I believe the process is to turn it off, or plug it in. This time it doesn't seem to be working. That's really interesting. Okay. Turn it back on. Plug it in. It was working earlier, so it's really strange. Starting to wonder whether this USB cable is even working correctly. This is version 2.0.14, by the way, so let me try a different cable now. Because earlier it was giving me at least a message, and I've got a USB-C adapter here, because I don't have the other cable. There we go. So I plugged it in. Well, that's interesting. That means this cable apparently doesn't work. Well, that's bizarre. So you hear it. Okay, there we go. RC for Mavic Air 2. Now, when I go on there, however, it's giving me this message, which is the cannot load the software, the firmware list. Okay. And this is documented online. I was actually on the forum, and it could be related to the fact that this is not the right version of the DJI Assistant 2. So I'm going to try to uninstall that one, reinstall the new one, and see if anything gets listed. All right, so I just deployed the DJI Assistant 2 for Consumer Drones series this time, launching it for the first time. It triggers a warning about Windows Defender firewall, so you want to allow the access. And I'm going to add actually my private network as well. Add the access, agree to the terms and conditions, and I'm going to turn this on and turn that one on as well. This is the account information and the device information that allows to connect to your account, right? Now I'm going to join the management or improvement program. I will do this at a later time. It's actually not necessary. I don't think it is. That's my email address, so I'll do this later. I'm going to plug in the, so turn on the controller, and the same process, plug it in, see what happens. I did not get a warning this time about DJI Minis that you had to do something special. Just plugged it in, my laptop picked it up. RC-N1, it looks a little bit different this time. This is encouraging actually. And there we go, latest version. Now, this is interesting. It is telling me that it is the latest version. This is 4.11.2.02.00, and I've never been that far actually. So let's see what happens if I continue down this path and if I hit upgrade. I'm going to start the update process here, and I think what it's doing, it's actually, see, there's something happening here. It's updating the firmware now. So that's encouraging. I've never been that far. I don't know, maybe it's going to bring it back. It's definitely doing something, that's for sure. I'm not sure how long it's going to take. Apparently it's going pretty fast, 66%. And I might do the same thing with the aircraft after and see what happens. It was interesting that I detected that apparently the USB-C cable that I had here is malfunctioning, so I guess that can happen too. Okay, it's doing a thing. RC-N1. All right. Ooh, that's different now. Now it's refresh, whereas earlier I had upgrade. That's different. And yeah, it looks like it went through. Well, look at that. So I'm gonna try to connect it to my phone now and see what happens. Fingers crossed. All right, I'm back. So since I was filming with my phone, I couldn't obviously do this video while connecting the controller to the phone, so I had to switch phones. So I'm gonna try to plug this in. So I'm gonna turn this on. I'm quite excited actually, because it looks like the firmware might have done something. And I'm gonna make sure the sound is on because I want to hear whether there is any kind of notification. Plug this in. Okay, so nothing is happening just yet. What has happened in the past is that DJI Fly actually launches on its own. In this particular case, it doesn't, so let me launch it manually. And I don't have any other cable. I know there's another cable that actually gets you from USB-C to USB-C. Problem was that with my case here on the phone, it would prevent me from connecting plugging in the connector all the way in, so it would actually not detect the controller. And there's still nothing happening here. That's not too good. This has happened to me actually right after I did the firmware update the first time around, before I started having all these problems. It took I don't know how many times for the controller to get picked up, and I still don't know why. I got another cable here. Again, USB-C to USB-C. Yeah, not sure what's gonna happen, but definitely worth a try. And try one more time just in case. Yeah, still nothing here. Doesn't charge, so not sure what's happening, but let's try another cable here. And so USB-C. picked up right away. Ooh, that's exciting. Yes. I might be having a combination of things here. Always. Okay, it's still flashing, but it picked it up, so, and it's charging up here. Oh my God, I might be getting somewhere here. So now I'm gonna just assemble my drone real quick and see if by any chance I can get this to get detected, which would be absolutely wicked. Just loading everything here, moving the gimbal window. So let's see if this gets me anywhere. Guys, that would be absolutely awesome. As I'm turning around, just I want to keep an eye on the light here. So okay, it's picked up. It's initializing, cycling through. Oh my God, I'm back online. This is absolutely phenomenal. Now, GPS is not getting picked up, but that's normal because the house I'm in right now is a very old house with very thick walls, and the GPS signal doesn't really get through. You can see on the low icon here, I got 0 satellites picked up, so that's fine. It's going to take a few minutes, might pick up a few, but I will need to get outside in order for this to work. So, well, looks like the problem is solved. Okay, so if you run into something similar as I did, clearly the key here is to ensure that you use DJI Assistant 2 and the proper version for your drone. Right, that's number one. Then make sure you use a proper USB cable, because as you could tell here, I had issues with that one, which actually uses a low USB-C adapter. Definitely need to change that out because it's creating some issues, right? So that's another thing. And finally, well, I guess in this case, these were really the two main issues, and I cannot believe that I'm back online. This is absolutely phenomenal. So I hope this is gonna get helpful for you guys. Clearly running through the firmware update on the DJI Assistant 2 software made a difference. It was reading it, but it was, so first of all, I was using the wrong one to begin with. That was the first one for Mavic. That is not the one you should be using for the Mini2. And second, it was reading it, but it still offered me to upgrade it. Whereas now it's actually stating refresh, which is different, right? So clearly there was something wrong here, and well, look at that, I'm back in business, and that's extremely exciting. So I hope this is helpful for you guys, and if you have any questions, let me know. DJI support has been really helpful overall, so still, reach out for them. And a word of caution, overall, when it comes to firmware upgrades and updates, you probably want to make sure that you don't go through a firmware update. If you're working on a project, you're on the job, you're away from home, you're abroad, or whatever the case may be, if you don't have 2 weeks ahead of you in order to send your controller back or your drone back in case anything goes wrong, then don't do it, right? There was a mistake, a rookie mistake on my end, really. I could have prevented all of this by simply not updating the firmware. And there's a bunch of videos out there that seem to indicate that the latest firmware might not be the best, and there are some connection problems. Now, I haven't flown my drone really. I've flown only once really. I'm gonna fly it again now that it's back online, and I will see whether that firmware is actually working correctly. But clearly, just if you are in a situation where you're working on a project or anything that would prevent you from returning the drone or the controller for repair, don't update the firmware until you're back home and you have time ahead of you. Lesson learned. I hope this is helping a few of you out there, and yeah, stay put. I'll keep posting videos now that I'm back online. I'm really excited. So thank you for watching and good luck with your issue. Hopefully this is going to help you out a little bit. Stay tuned. Bye.